Brian Morris here with Jam Dynamics. We're going to go over some stuff that we keep in our fire kit, which is be part of your survival kit that you keep with you in your vehicle or something like that. You can keep it in your pack. You know, they come in different sizes. It's really up to you. I have a pretty big one because I use it a lot and I'm constantly going through stuff and having to refill it. So I keep a little bit of a bigger one, but you don't necessarily have to have a box this big. You know, you can use a much smaller box, but this is good for me. So tailor it to you and your needs. So let's talk about some of the things you need, essentials, before you make a fire. You know, first thing is you want to get your fuel together. So your fuel is going to be sticks. So you can have twigs, sticks, and logs. Those are the three things that we want to get together in a pile before we start. All right. Then you want to get your bird's nest, and I call it a bird's nest. You know, it's basically just your tinder, what you're going to use to actually get that initial fire going. So you want something that's very flammable. So I'm going to go over a couple of different fire starting techniques, and these are just things that you can keep in your kit. You know, it's really up to you how many things you want to keep with you. I like redundancy. I like to keep things in depth. Primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. So at least have 4 things to get started a fire with. I've got like 20 here to show you guys, so you can pick and choose what you want, what works best for you. Here's a little trick some people use. They use some steel wool because you can keep a lot of it. It's small, it packs up real tight, and you can open it up, kind of fluff it out a little bit, get the fibers opened up. You take a 9-volt battery and you just touch it on there. And see, you can get a fire started like that. Pretty simple. There's other techniques. I'm going to show you some different things that I've got here in my box. Obviously, a lighter is always good to have. One of the things I like to use are these little fire starter cubes. You can get these. They also sell ones called Zip. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just a little solid fuel cube. It's super, super light, and they start a fire really, really quick. It doesn't take more than a little small flame or spark to get them started. You just put them down by your fire, you light it, it's going to light right away. And then you just put your tinder right on top, keeping that oxygen. You get those twigs on top of that. Give it a little bit of O2. And you can see it's still burning. And it's going to burn long enough to get this fire started, no problem. And I like to make a little lean-to so that you get some air underneath your twigs. Once your twigs are going, it's just a matter of adding fuel. So you just, you know, I continue to add twigs for a little while until I get a nice flame going, and then I'll go to a bigger stick. And eventually, I'll go up to a log. The important thing is to make sure that you always have air underneath so that there's oxygen flowing continuously, and that's going to keep my fire going. If it's the fall and you got some dead leaves, they work great. They burn quickly, but they do help to get that flame started. So you can throw some leaves on top. And I just start adding sticks. That's it, you got a fire. I want to show you guys how to make some char cloth today. Char cloth is something that you can use as a tinder item to get a fire started quickly. So what you're going to need is a small can, like an Altoids can, and you want to pop a couple of holes in the can. And then I like to use cleaning patches for a rifle, but you can use any kind of cotton cloth. And you just take a piece of cloth and you put it inside the can, and then you close the can. You put the can on fire. Make sure you got those holes in it now to vent. And we're just going to stick it on the fire, and we're going to let it smoke for a while. And what's going to happen is the fire can't directly get to the char cloth, but it is going to burn the char cloth down to where it's charred inside. I'll show you when I take it out of here. And what that'll do is create a cloth that's very highly flammable. You can keep it in your pack or in your fire kit for when you need to start a fire in a pinch. Okay, you can see I went in and pulled it out of the fire. What I did was I waited for the smoke to stop coming out of these holes. When you see smoke stop coming out of the holes, you know it's ready. And I just go ahead and open it up, and you can see inside, it's perfectly charred cloth inside there. And these little char cloths right here, I'm gonna show you how they work. It doesn't take much at all. You can actually, just a spark. You can see how they light. Can you zoom in on that? Mm-hmm. You get a good slow burn. It stays lit. That's lit right now. This is a piece of fatwood. And basically all that is just pine resin. It's just when a pine tree dies, all the resin goes to the base, and you'll find pieces of wood at the base of the pine tree that are just saturated with this stuff, and it's very flammable. You can use it to start a fire. So you get little pieces, and you can keep the piece like this. You can buy them, or you can get them from a pine tree, like I said, and you keep it in your fire kit. And when it's time to make a fire, you just shave a few shavings like this on the ground, and I'll show you just how quickly the stuff starts. You know, it doesn't take more than just a flame to get it going, and it'll stay lit. You can see it catches fire really quick, and it stays lit almost like a wick, and you can use it to start fire with. Works really well. You can see how slow it burns. Another cool fire starting device. These are made by Live Fire, and they're pretty cool. They come in different sizes, so you can get the small ones or the larger ones, and they work the same. Basically, you just open it up. You take your knife and you kind of shave it just a little bit, and you get the fibers to come up. And then it just takes a spark or a quick flame, and it's started. And that'll stay lit for hours. You can use it to heat your tent. You can use it to start fires with. It's excellent. To put it out, you just take the oxygen away, take the cover, you put it back on, and you close it, and it's out. That's it. Pretty cool little fire starter. If you like what you see, go out and pick up one of my books, Green Beret Survival Guide and the Green Beret Bushcrafting Guide. Both of them are available on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million.